Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Drawing Down the Stars, and thank you for joining me today for our live tarot session today on July 23rd, 2024. Thank you all for joining me. It is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. So happy to be here with you all today. And this is going to be so much fun. Let's start out by giving a shout out to the chat. So, good evening, Lisa. Good to see you, Banner. Great to see you, Gandhi. Hello, Dorian. Hello, Nikosmos. Shout out to Ruby and Jeremy. Mukio, Christy, good to see you. Aurora, great to see you. Raptor, thank you for joining me. Amazing to see you, Kari. This is such a beautiful day. Good to see you, Exit 101. Thank you guys all for coming. So let's begin, as we normally do, by talking a bit about the astrology and about the title of today's tarot session. So to begin with the astrology, we have this really intense energy right now. The moon has moved into Pisces, and we have the sun right now in Leo. Excuse me. The moon in Pisces, it's beautiful energy, but it's also extraordinarily sensitive energy. It gives you this incredible ability to connect with others, to feel and to be able to recognize people's emotions, to sense and move and flow in community, and to really connect on that deep level. But with it comes this incredible openness, this ability to perceive. And we will all be very sensitive at this time. We will recognize other people's pains, and we will be we'll be very, aware of our own pains. So if we are in any kind of emotional stress, this is going to be a really intense time, right? And it's also kind of amplified at the moment by the sun in Leo. The sun in Leo is beautiful, bright energy of going out and trying to be confident and be ourselves and be strong and fiery. But it's also this intense energy of potentially leading to conflict, right? Leo is such an forward energy. It's such an outgoing energy. And you combine this with that Pisces energy in the moon, and we really have an opportunity for intensity. Now's a time when you could get into arguments and could get hurt. So just be aware of this kind of energy. On the other side, now is a time when you can really connect to those people that you truly love, when you can be truly aware of their emotions, and you can truly be yourself and express yourself to them. So if you are moving in flow, now is a time to really move in flow with people, So it's about being aware in this moment, being aware of this energy and recognizing that we're sensitive, recognizing that we're going to be outgoing and passionate, right? Beautiful. And when I was thinking on the reading today and I was doing my meditation, thinking about what I wanted to title this particular reading, I drew from my deck and I pulled the devil. And the devil is very intense, beautiful energy, In my understanding, the devil is really that Prometheus Apollo energy. This is that energy of revealing, of shining a light, of exposing to the world, and of transforming the self, of really engaging and looking, making a reasoned understanding of the world around you, seeing and moving in flow, being in that transformative, passionate love with nature, right? Prometheus calls us to move through the cycles, to go through the transformation, to take the torch that he brought down for us and to shine a light on our world around us, to truly learn and to know ourselves. That torch gives us the ability to know. That was the gift. And for that gift, he will suffer in eternity, ever having his liver ripped out by that eagle, and then have it delivered to Medea, who uses it in her potions, right? Wild, intense energy with Prometheus. And I wanted to read you one of my all-time favorite poems by Lord Byron, and that is called Prometheus. So I'm just going to read it for you. It's from 1816. Titan, To whose immortal eyes the sufferings of mortality, seen in their sad reality, were not as things that gods despise? What was thy pity's recompense? A silent suffering and intense, the rock, the vulture, and the chain, all that the proud can feel of pain, the agony they do not show, the suffocating sense of woe, which speaks but in its loneliness, and then is jealous lest the sky should have a listener, nor will sigh until its voice is echoless. Titan, to thee the strife was given between the suffering and the will, which torture where they cannot kill, and the inexorable heaven, and the deaf tyranny of fate, the ruling principle of hate, for which its pleasure doth create the things it may annihilate. Refuse they even the boon to die. The wretched gift eternity was thine, and thou hast borne it well. All that the thunderer wrung from thee was but the menace which flung back on him the torments of thy rack. The fate thou didst so well foresee, but would not to appease him tell, and in thy silence was his sentence, and in his soul a vain repentance, and evil dread so ill dissembled, that in his hand the lightnings trembled. Thy godlike crime was to be kind, to render with thy precepts less the sum of human wretchedness, and strengthen man with his own mind. But baffled as thou wert from high, still in thy patient energy, in the endurance and repulse of thine impenetrable spirit, which earth and heaven could not convulse, a mighty lesson we inherit. Thou art a symbol and a sign to mortals of their fate and force. Like thee, man is in part divine, a troubled stream from a pure source. And man in portions can foresee his own funeral destiny, his wretchedness and his resistance, and his sad unallied existence, to which his spirit may oppose itself, and equal to all woes, and a firm will and a deep sense, which even in torture can descry its own concentered recompense, triumphant where it dares defy, and making death a victory. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful imagery and power here. And I really want people to connect to this image, to this energy of this Prometheus. Right? That being that sacrificed everything so that man may know themselves and recognize their own divinity and go through that transformation, right? And this is what the message is today. Find ecstasy and beauty in phenomenon, in the life around you. Be in that generative power. Transcend your limitations and move beyond. Become the deity you are called to be, right? Beautiful. And I wanted to read you guys one more poem, just because I've been feeling it today. And this is Ode to Apollo, which is that same Promethean energy, but evolved, right? And this comes to us by James Lister Cuthbertson. And he begins with a phrase in Latin: Tandem venius precamor nube candentes humoros amictus augur Apollo. Please forgive me, Apollo, who is radiant and bright and cloud and clothed in the clouds. The augur Apollo, the augur, the one who knows the future, who can see and read the birds. Who are the birds but the muses, right? Who knows that future through their power. Now we get to the poem proper. Lord of the golden lyre, fraught with the Dorian fire, O fair-haired child of Leto, come again. And if no longer smile, Delphi or Delos' isle, come from the depth of thine Aetnian glen, where in the black ravine thunders the foaming green of waters writhing far from mortals' ken. Come o'er the sparkling brine, and bring thy train divine, thy sweet-voiced and immortal violet-crowned nine. For here are richer meads, and here are goodlier steeds than ever graced the glorious land of Greece. Here waves the yellow corn, here is the olive born, the gray-green gracious harbinger of peace. Here too hath taken root a tree with golden fruit, in purple clusters hangs the vine's increase, and all the earth doth wear the dry, clear Attic air that lifts the soul to liberty and frees the heart from care. Or if thy wilder mood incline to solitude, eternal verdure girds the lonely hills. Through the gloom of ferns, softly the sunset burns. Cold from the granite flow the mountain rills. And there are inner shrines made by the slumberous pines, where the rapt heart with contemplation fills. From wave-stricken shores, deep wistful music pours, and floods the tempest-shaken forest corridors. Oh, give the gift of gold, the human heart to hold, with liquid glamour of thy lesbian line, with Pindar's lava glow, with Sophocles' calm flow, or Aeschylean rapture airy fine, or with thy music's close, thy last autumnal rose, Theocritus of Sicily divine, or Pythian archer strong, time cannot do thee wrong, with thee thy live forever, thy nightingales of song. We too are island born. Oh, leave us not in scorn. A songless people never yet was great. We suppliants at thy feet await thy muses sweet. Amid the laurels at thy temple gate, crownless and voiceless yet, but on our brows is set the dim unwritten prophecy of fate, to mold from out of mud an empire with our blood, to wage eternal warfare with the fire and flood. Lord of the minstrel choir, oh, grant our heart's desire to sing of truth invincible in might, of love surpassing death that fears no fiery breath, of ancient inborn reverence for right, of that sea-woven spell that from Trafalgar fell and keeps the star of duty in our sights. Oh, give the sacred fire, and our weak lips inspire with laurels of thy song and lightnings of thy lyre. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 right? I just love this. Apollo is that one who can shine the light and teach us to go and to fight, to ever reaffirm life against its sufferings of death, right? To ever evolve and transform and grow, to build the city, right? Beautiful. So we're going to start with some sortes. We're going to have some fun. So for those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination via literature. And we take this from the Greco-Roman tradition, and we ask those goddesses, the muses, the divine nine, to inspire us, to guide our hand, and to send us a message. We're going to start with Byron. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? And so she took the liberty to state, rather by deeds than words, because the case was urgent, that the gentleman whose fate had made her mistress quit her bed to trace the seashore at this hour must leave his plate, unless he wished to die upon the place. And so she took the liberty to state, rather by deeds than words, because the case was urgent, that the gentleman whose face had made her mistress quit her bed to trace the seashore at this hour must leave his plate. Wow. Liberty to state, rather by deeds than words, right? Liberty is something that must be ever fought for and ever striven for, and must be held within the soul, right? And must be done through deeds, not just words. Because the case was urgent that the gentleman whose fate had made her mistress quit her bed to trace the seashore at this hour must leave his plate, unless he wished to die upon the place. He quits his mistress's bed to go to the seashore at a special hour to leave his plate, right? What is he doing? Communing with the nymphs, right? Beautiful. It's this message that unless you wish to die where you are, you must transform. You must move in liberty and freedom and flow, and you must not hold anyone to yourself. No one is your mistress. Beautiful. Let's continue. We are now going to go to Liber 420 by Chris Bennett. Muses, what is the message from Liber 420? Okay. Likewise, the recipes and lore of manuscripts like the Picatrix would clearly have been an interest to Hermetic magicians and witches alike. That's beautiful. The Picatrix. This is one of the most important magical texts that was ever created. It is an Arabic text, and it has deep, deep astrological magic and is one of the most important magical grimoires of the modern tradition, and definitely is one of these important texts that really inspired and helped create Hermeticism as we understand it. You know, I highly recommend that everyone check it out. You know, the Picatrix, one of those master books. Especially if you're into astrological magic. You want to learn how to communicate with Saturn or Mercury or the sun, the Picatrix will tell you. All right, we're going to go to the Decameron. Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from Boccaccio? Did he ever offend you? Nay, verily, answered the lady. He never offended me at all. Wow. This is an interesting line, and it's making me think. When I think about this, it's not about offense. It's not about any of that, right? These are respectability and offense are beyond the pale. This is not what it's about. When we are looking at these messages, we're thinking about the divine feminine, and we're looking at that role that the feminine plays within our natural world, right? And how it has been regulated and pushed to the sides, right? She's not offended. She's not lost. She's not forgotten. Too many magicians feel like we need to bring back Lady Babylon, make the goddess return. She never went anywhere. She's always been here. You just didn't have the ears to hear or weren't listening or looking. There's beautiful power all around you. And believe me, the goddess is not offended by this. She's playing the long game. It's all about the cycles, right? It's all about the cycles. And we will move beyond the patriarchal, and we will become something far greater. And these are the games that she plays, universal games, right? Let's continue. In tune with the infinite, Ralph Waldo Treen, and my good friend, Harry F. Gibbon. All right. Muse, guide my hand. What is the message this evening? Okay. The optimist is right. Well, there you go. The optimist is right. The optimist is right. What does this mean? This is truly a magical statement, right? Think about it. You create the universe in which you live, and you define your reality by how you perceive it and the energy that you protect upon it. If you exist in a positive, loving way, if you project that into the world, your life will be far more positive. You know, it's like, it's not going to transform your physical reality, but it will make everything far better. And there's there's something to be said about things like The Secret, as silly and as capitalistic and ridiculous as these things are. Positive thinking really will move mountains. If you believe it, you can do it. It's about how you learn to control your mind and control your thoughts. Belief is a tool, right? Let's continue. Parvati Darpana, beautiful text by my professor, Harsha V. Dehasia. Muse, what is the message from Dr. Dehasia? While observing in a mirror the marks of enjoyment when she saw immediately behind her own reflection that of her lover seated behind her. Wow. And while observing in a mirror the marks of enjoyment. And what this means is he's talking about Parvati, the goddess Parvati, is looking in the mirror and she's looking at her own beauty and is donning her makeup, when she immediately behind her own reflection sees that of her lover seated at the back. Right? It is through the pursuit of her own beauty and her own enjoyment of self that she sees the lover. Right? We have to first love ourselves. We have to first adorn ourselves and find beauty in the self. And only then can you see beauty in the other. All right. Let us continue. Who's who in Greek and Roman mythology? Last time we got Phaon, really interesting Orphic deity. And very relevant to this kind of Luciferian, Apollo, Promethean energy we have. Let's see who we get today. Muse, guide my hand. All right. Hippolyte, queen of the Amazons, daughter of Ares and Otrera, sister of Antiope and Pensiletheia, possibly the mother of Hippolytus by Theseus, was either killed by Heracles or died of a broken heart after Heracles took her girdle, given to her by Ares as his 9th labor. This is such a beautiful story, right? And it connects us to those incredible, magical Amazons, right? Otrera, who is the first Amazon queen, who established the Temple of Ephesus and married Ares, right? And then the incredible Penthesilea and Antiope. These are powerful, powerful people, right? And then in her own story, Hippolyte, right? She bears the sacred girdle, which is that brazier, the golden brazier that Hercules must wrestle from her and don himself so that he can become feminine, right? This is one of the things that a lot of people forget about Hercules, that absolute masculine, that power, that drunk with the club, donned a woman's brazier and became the feminine as his 9th labor, right? Why? Because to complete any of this, you have to see the other. You have to recognize the other in yourself. We are all male and female and bigendered. Let's continue. Book 4, Aleister Crowley. All right, Muses, what is the inspiration from Crowley? The magician must therefore take the utmost care in matters of purification. Firstly, of himself. Secondly, of his instruments. Thirdly, of the place of working. Wow. This is just beautiful in general, right? You have to take care of your space and take care of yourself. The magician is the one who places everything in order, right? Who orders the universe to assert their will upon reality. To do so, you must make a space that is open for the universe. You have to cleanse your area, put everything in order, right? You have to establish that purification. You have to go through those rites of cleansing the self so that when you put yourself into the space to ascend that throne and draw down the stars, that you're in the right state of mind, that your space is welcoming, that, you know, I always like to think of the deities, ancestors, daemons, gods, as friends, as relatives, as people you're inviting into your home, into your life. If you live in a pigsty, who's going to want to come visit, right? And if you're inviting someone over to your home, you want to make sure that they have a nice, proper guest bedroom, that they're fed, that they're clothed, that they are treated with the utmost respect, right? Firstly, you must respect yourself and take care of that temple that is the body. Secondly, you must take care of your instruments and your tools of your trade, that which we use to transform your reality. And thirdly, you must take place of the place in which you are working. What is the sacred grove? What is the templum? But that space that is set aside and maintained that maintains its purity, right? Beautiful. Cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say, right? All right. How we doing for time? Okay. We're going to go to Vikramaditya. This is a beautiful book. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from that divine king, Vikramaditya of Ujjain? All right. In the meantime, the sun had set. They both descended from the throne and returned to the palace. After evening prayers and supper, they retired to sleep, wondering what story the sixth statuette would reveal. Wow. In the meantime, the sun had set. They had both descended from the throne and returned to the palace. After evening prayers and supper, they retired to sleep. Right? All things come to an end. And the sun is about cycles. The sun rises and he sets, goes through the underworld and is reborn anew. Right? And this is what we do as well. Right? We need to recognize that with our sleep, in this process of dying and being reborn, we're going through this constantly in our own life, you know? And to go into that state of sleep, you must leave the throne, right? You cannot always be in that seat of power, in that control. You must give up the palace, give up the power, and go back to your home, go back to rest and rise again, right? Yeah. And routines and self-care. We're getting a lot of this, right? Learning to move and flow and to recognize. So often people want to connect with that powerful, beautiful sun as Apollo, right? The beautiful one who teaches you to sing, who can bring divination. But that's only the light of the day. You know, Apollo is only here for half the time. You also have to pray to Dionysus, the sun in the underworld, right? The light reflected upon the moon. You know, and you also want to pray to the moon as well, that divine Artemis. You know, you have to connect with these energies and how they flow and see them in that transformation and recognize the evolutions and the cycles. Everything is in a constant state of transformation. Everything is adapting, right? That which is above is the same as that which is below. Okay. All right, I think we're pretty good for the sortes. I think I'll do one more and then we'll hop over to our tarot proper. So we're going to end today's sortes with Chapman's Homer, Iliad and the Odyssey. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the divine Homer? Not all the wooers' deaths being now disposed, they might approach the town affirming her. Not long would they fail to assess to victory. All the wooers' deaths being now disposed, they might approach the town affirming her. Wow. That great mother goddess, Cybele, right? Aphrodite. These are goddesses, Athena. These are goddesses of the city, right? The ones who are enshrined in the throne, who wear the crown upon their heads, you know? It's beautiful. They might approach the town affirming her. Not long would fail to assist to victory. Right? After all of the wooers have died and been disposed, after all the chaos is settled, we might approach the town affirming her and then enter into victory, right? That's the message. Wow. Ride out the conflict and rebuild the city. Wow. Intense energy from Homer. What a thing to end on. Okay. And before I start the tarot, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. The likes really do boost everything in the algorithm. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, please send me a message, snappydts@gmail.com. Or you can find my email in the description. Or you can even message me on the Myth and Lore Discord. I'm Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right, so we're going to do, while I was shuffling there, my center card popped out. And it's that Empress, the Divine Feminine. I'm going to keep shuffling here, do my spiel, but then we'll get into it. All right. So we are going to invoke that spirit of Saturn Kronos. We're going to ask him to dissect their life, to cut it up and put it on the plate, to expose the conflicts, to look at how we can best move and flow. How do we evolve beyond the situation? And how do we manifest our true will? All right, let's see. So we're starting with that Empress, the Divine Feminine, and it's absolute in all of her glory. She represents the feminine in its totality, both as Aphrodite Urania, the Divine Mother, the perfected Virgin who is absolutely beyond, and Aphrodite Pandemos, the lover of all, who gives herself freely in loving pleasure, right? The totality of femininity. And to have this in the center, it's about connecting to that divine feminine, embracing this feminine energy, and using that to move in flow. Let's see where this is going. Wow. We had this energy the other day as our center card, that completion energy, the universe, Persephone, embodied and reformed as that queen, inside that divine Orphic egg to be reborn anew, right? So what are we doing? We're coming out of this cycle, out of this transformation. We're ending that cycle, and we're being reborn anew as that divine feminine. This is about taking this new cycle to approach things from this perspective, you know, to see things with that feminine eye, to engage in our feminine energies. We all have that in us. Wow. And it's about pursuing this energy of that incredible passion, right? The princesses are divine children. You know, this is someone who has been born, who needs to be nurtured and cared for, who will grow and manifest and become that divine queen or that knight. We need to be there to care for them. But this is that energy of potential, of growth, of power, the fire of fire. Wow. So what I'm seeing here is through the ending of that previous cycle, we're now coming into a new birth, a new transformation and a growth, where we're focusing on this fire. We're focusing on passion and love and being that inspiring energy and drawing that feminine in, connecting and being that one who can build kinships, who can raise and nurture children, right? Who better to connect with this energy of the princess than that absolute empress, the divine mother, right? Let's see where this is going. There is pain and sorrow here, right? With any transformation, there is sorrow. And it is going to be difficult. For many, it is very difficult to connect to different parts of the self. And to try and focus and look and to see things from that feminine side can be very difficult. And not just for men, for women too, and for non-binary people, right? It's not easy to move between these kinds of flows. It really requires to see the self and to think about these things and to try to imagine, right? To engage in a proper way. So much of this work is about imagining yourself in this role, drawing down this energy, being that perfected woman, right? Where's that sorrow coming from? Why is this hard? Let's see where this is going. Yeah, it's hard because it requires a lot of work, a lot of transformation, a lot of nurturing, right? We're having another divine child here, right? This time in that disc's energy. And this again is that thing that needs to be nurtured to grow. She can become that queen or that knight if she is nurtured, but she needs that love. She needs that support, right? And what I'm getting here is that this is a difficult thing to build and to nurture and to care for, to raise this child, right? And in the discs, this could grow to become a business. This can grow to become a tower, could be grow to become a home, to become a family, right? It's not necessarily just a person, but this is something truly profound that you are nurturing and working to establish, right? In loving flow. But there's pain and sorrow here. Wow. Another of these princesses. Wow. We're really in this mode of trying to be this mother, trying to nurture new perspectives, new projects, new beginnings. This time, we're nurturing that divine princess of swords, the child in that air, right? The one who can rise to become that teacher. But again, with this, we have all this sorrow. There's so much responsibility. You know what it is, too? To be in that divine feminine energy is to be responsible for one's kin, right? The mother takes care of her children. The mother cannot abandon her children in the way that the man potentially can, you know? The mother has a deeper connection, and we are responsible for these children. They are born from us, and we must take responsibility for them, right? And that is difficult. It is difficult. It is beautiful. It is necessary. It is profound. The role of the mother is one of the most magical and powerful there is. But do not kid yourself. It is difficult. Yeah. Change is coming in, though. Profound change. How do we overcome that sorrow? By learning to move and flow and to adapt to these circumstances. By taking responsibility. You know, the divine mother here, she makes the changes necessary to take care of her children, right? She moves out of bad situations. She builds and does anything she needs to protect hers, right? Change is profound and must be ridden. You got to be the boat that rides above this, that moves and flow. If you don't flow with change, change will squash you, right? And this is hard energy, right? This transformation, this change, taking this responsibility, being that mother, it's difficult. Let's see where this is going. Yeah. Hard energy here, right? With all of this profound change coming in, we have to be in that energy of protecting what we have built, right? Of making sure that we tend to this tree. Prudence energy is about building upon what you have, right? The 8 of discs is we're moving up to try and manifest that 10, to bring in the wealth, to bring in that power, right? But to do that, we need to tend the tree. We need to be the gardener. We need to pull the weeds. We need to water. We need to tend to the fruit, you know? And we need to weather the change. Make sure that our tree can bend and flow with the wind, right? That even if its branches get broken, you tend to those wounds. You protect that tree, right? Let's see where this is going. Wow. This young man haunts me, that Prince of Discs, right? That young, outgoing energy in that building disc way, right? This is that young man who wants to go out and build something for themselves, that is out to change reality, that wants to make big changes, right? Beautiful, powerful energy that can do magical things, but you have to be careful because it's showing up immature, right? This energy could be the one that tills the field and feeds the village, or it could be the bull in the china shop that breaks and crashes everything, right? We need to look at this energy, and this is energy that needs to be nurtured, intended, just like the princesses. The prince has that potential to grow and become a queen or a knight, right? If they are loved and cared for. Wow. No wonder we had the Empress as our center. So much youthful energy, so much need for this love, for education, for support, that only that divine feminine can truly give, you know? And I want to remind anyone can embody that energy. We are all connected. It's not beyond you, it's internal to everyone. But you must embody this energy and embrace that mother if you're going to raise children, It's just how it is. If you really want to do it in the proper way, right? If you want to be that responsible person who truly cares and loves, then you will embody that mother energy, right? So before I flip my camera, please take a second, give me a like and a subscribe. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, please look in the description. You'll find my email, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can reach me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right, let's take a look here. So this is our full Saturn square. And we're going to start here with that universe energy. That cycle has completed. It has ended out. And we're now moving in a new way where it's about manifesting this prudence, this disc. And what this is about is the old cycle has ended, and we're now fixated on this building in the real, in the discs, right? Tending to our tower, building and manifesting our dreams in the physical world. So this is about really tending to this energy. You know, the princess must be nurtured. She must be cared for. She must be taught. She must be treated like a child, right? With respect and with love, but also as that individual so that she can reach her full potential, so that she can become a knight or a queen, whatever she wishes, right? And to do that, we're in that prudence energy. We continue to nurture. We continue to be in love with her. We make sure that she is going in the right path. Sometimes the mother's way is to guide and to offer suggestion. You know, it's to help prune the tower, but she must build it, right? Interesting. Let's see where this is going here. We talked about this a little bit already. We have that energy of the Empress, our center card, the most defining energy, right? Embodying this divine feminine, taking responsibility, being in that kinship building mode, right? Taking care of our family. That's that energy here, being that queen mother who is responsible, you know? And we have all that energy of the youth around us here. And when we look up and down here, we need to weather this transformation and overcome the pain of that transformation. You know, change is never easy. Change is always difficult. And embodying this Empress, being that divine feminine, is definitely not easy, right? It's going to require substantial change, but it's something that is worth engaging with, something that's worth doing. Because if you can be this energy, you can raise this family around you. You can transform your surroundings and your universe, you know? So beautiful. When we look here, we have all of these children, right? All of these young, youthful energies connected and in flow, right? They're all leading to each other here. What I'm seeing is there's a lot of people who are searching, who are looking for guidance, who are looking for support, who are looking for love and looking for that connection and guidance. And it is that divine mother that can provide it. You know, this prince energy, he can, to a certain extent, help with the princesses. But in order to truly raise anyone, in order to, you know, you've got to take responsibility. This prince energy must transform, just as these princesses eventually must transform and grow. Wow. Amazing. Let's now look at our crosses. And our first cross here, right? Beautiful. We have that princess building of the discs, building that tower, building our business, moving, building our home, doing what we need to do to manifest that true reality, connected to that outgoing energy of that prince. And then the Empress in the middle. What I'm seeing here is the Empress is the one who establishes the kinship between these two. It's her that is going to allow this prince to transform and to help this princess become that queen. It's going to help both of these young energies evolve. The prince will become the knight, the princess will be the queen. And it's done through this motherly, loving support, right? Who shows these two how to take responsibility. Beautiful. And we see this on full display here when we look at the other cross. What does she do for the Princess of Swords but teach prudence? but teach how to tend to your tower, how to tend to your tree in your garden, how to grow and evolve and move and flow and take responsibility. The Empress takes responsibility. She raises the children. She moves in flow. And that's the energy we want to be. We need to be this mother so that we can help these youthful energies around us overcome. The key is to resist the sorrow and to embrace change. Let the past go and be this loving mother energy, which is so needed. Beautiful. Wow. I hope that resonated with you all. It certainly resonated with me. And it is a deep, deep, deep reading. You know, we all need that mother energy, and we all need to provide that mother energy. Beautiful. All right. What is our time? We got 45 minutes. We're going to end, since I forgot earlier, we're going to end today with Ganapati Ganesha. Lord Ganesha, Lord of the beginnings, guardian of the thresholds, Lord of the Ganas. Inspire us. Send us our final message. Bring us joy. What do we need, Ganapati? How can you help today? All right. Prosperity. Beautiful. Prosperity. Joy, abundance. We asked for it, we received it. Right? What does Ganesha bring us but love and abundance? He's that divine child, right? Who better than to bring us prosperity than the divine child with all that mother energy? You know? Embrace this prosperity. Embrace this moment and grow. If you continue to be that mother and raise the children, if you tend in prudence to this energy, everything will grow and manifest into that wealth. Beauty and power is here. It's about being that mother and raising the family. That's the energy. All right, everyone. Peace and love. I hope this resonated with you. And I hope I see you all tonight for Dr. Ammon's Greek class. Take care, everyone. And I'll be back tomorrow with more live tarot.